Water, energy, and organic matter are essential elements for creatures to live.
Scientists speculate that the ocean might be the place where living creatures on the Earth were first born.
And the tides and flows of seawater are still interacting continuously with the ecosystem. The sea-girt Tung Ping Chau is our destination today. Located at the northeasternmost point of Hong Kong, it features a unique geological landscape, such as Kang Lao Shek on its southeastern tip, which was formed by layers of sedimentary rocks 55 million years ago.
Nature is a great artist, and many of its works can be found in Tung Ping Chau.
To enjoy the different geological views in Tung Ping Chau, all it takes is a brief hour-and-a-half kaito ride from Ma Lu Shui, but remember, kaitos are only in service on Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays.
When I have the ocean in front of me, my heart is always filled with an indescribable tenderness.
That's good. Joey, let's go meet Mother.
We've just met, and you want me to meet your mama?
It's not my mother, but the mother of corals, Apple, the marine biologist. Hey there.
Hello.
Hello, will you take us to see the corals in the ocean later?
Yeah, I will, but let me show you something before we go and do that. Oh, you see these here? These are quite interesting. Let's pick these up and have a look.
Oh.
Okay, you take this and you take that.
Oh, it's very
like a
heavy.
rock.
Yeah, it is. All right, so these two corolla samples actually belong to the same genus of coral. They are called porites.
All right.
Right, so as we walk along this spot, we'll find many corolla along the way, as well as various kinds of shells, as there are a lot of corals living in the water of Tung Ping Chau Marine
Right.
Park. It has a rich biodiversity thanks to the corals, as it enables us to witness the living cycle of creatures here by looking at the creatures being rushed to the shore. Make a guess, if this coral didn't die, what would its age be in the water? Judging from its size and that it's intact, it could be 10 years old.
Mother of corals, can you tell me why the sea looks patchy over there?
Well, you see, in every patch of shade, there is a coral community living there. These are all corals.
Will we dive and look?
Yep, we've walked enough. Let's go diving.
Well, let's go.
Good idea.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
Today at Tung Ping Chau Marine Park, once we're in the water, we'll have 3 tasks we'll need to complete. The first task is conducting a coral census. We'll use a measuring tape at the seabed to designate an area first and see what lies beneath 0 meters, and identify whether it's coral, rock, sand, or mud. On the other hand, if you can spot the corals, it'd be great if you can identify its species if you're able to. The third task for us is completing a health chart. This is so we can check if the corals are healthy or not. Also, we'll compare the corals against diagrams and look for any pale spots on them. Like this area has a number 1, which means it has signs of coral bleaching. We need to put that on the record.
I want to ask, when we are measuring the corals or having close contact with them later, what should we be mindful of?
During a coral census, our duties are quite numerous. We need to use both hands to use the instruments, for example, so this really requires good neutral buoyancy. So neutral buoyancy is something we need to think of, then don't touch the substrate, and lastly, just control your breathing.
Like this?
Yeah, I think so.
That's it.
Okay.
Can you handle the weight?
Don't trip.
Right.
Okay, all right, can one of you guys give me a hand?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Oppa! Yes! Make an OK sign or it will be an SOS.
Sorry.
Diving in.
It's amazing. Today I feel like I was shown a whole new diving world in Hong Kong. It's so different from the dive trips I've done before. I don't usually get to see so much coral. Also, we completed many special tasks today, which aren't typical things to do on a normal dive. Under the guidance of an expert, it became a lot more of a fun and captivating experience as we learned something from it. The whole trip really became more meaningful.
With the assistance of an expert like Apple, I had a better sense of direction. Oftentimes when I go for a dive trip, it's simply for fun or maybe just as a hobby. But with Apple there with us, she would inform me of the name of the coral species we were looking at, or how we could determine the health conditions of the different corals simply by looking at the saturation of their colors, which makes this diving experience that we had today much more educational for me. I learned that there is a lot more to pay attention to on a dive than I thought.
Our diving spot earlier was Amawan, one of the core areas of coral reef protection in Tungping Chau Marine Park. That's why the abundance of corals there, just like where we were diving. It's 80% covered by coral reefs. That means that 8 out of the 10 blocks in your coral census should be recorded as hard corals.
Right.
It's nearly all stony corals.
I was wondering if I filled it in incorrectly.
How could there be so
All I
many?
put down was hard corals, and then I saw, apple clapping.
Yep, that means you're right.
Well, then,
Just
okay, I
letting
guess I
you
was
know.
right.
What about the ones that are filled in with sand?
It's normal to fill in sand or rocks in the census, as they are often seen in nature. How about we tell each other about things we saw earlier? What are your findings?
A lot of corals.
Yep, there's
They
a
were
lot.
numerous.
Remember their names? I pointed out their names.
Yes.
in water.
Yeah, you did.
Pavona corals.
Right, it's the only Pavona coral
They're
species
so
in Hong
abundant.
Kong. Their
Yeah,
cross
that says
shape
a lot.
is so beautiful. Pavona decussata is actually very interesting because its cross shape creates
Right.
ample
Right.
space for the fish
Oh,
inside.
I tried to get closer and observe, and there seems to be creatures inside.
Right, yes, there are.
I think I saw the Platygira
Yes,
corals.
the Platygira is the most
It's pretty
advantageous
big,
type in
wasn't
Hong
it?
Kong.
Yeah.
They're like statues. There is one
Were
more.
they Goniopora corals?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw those. They're
It's
neat.
so pretty. It's like a tall
Yeah,
flower
what else did we
swinging in the
see?
air or something. We could see a lot of butterfly fish.
Yeah, I saw a lot.
They're usually near the Acroporidae corals. That's why we should have seen Acroporidae corals earlier too. What did you see also? They
Fish.
hid inside the
I think it's
corals.
a
yeah, that one
filefish.
there. The filefish was so nice. It wasn't scared of us at all. It hung out a while so we could watch it. Wherever corals are present, we should be able to observe a wide array of marine life because the corals make quality homes for different marine life to settle in. Okay, let's see. Our last task is related to determining the coral's overall health. What are the health indices and numbers of the majority of the corals you have observed?
For me, what I observed is that their numbers are mostly 5 and 6.
Yeah.
5 and 6 refer to relatively saturated colors, which means the corals are healthy.
Most of them have a brownish or reddish color tone.
Right, this
Yes,
color tone.
right.
I could
hey,
see.
there's
Yeah,
one in
I
green
saw a
too.
green one too.
What's the genus of that one?
Galaxia?
That's right. It's large and beautiful.
There's a lot of those as well.
Its greenish color makes it stand out.
Right.
Although the corals are mainly in deep colors, I noticed that they might have occasional
yeah, I
white
noticed that
patches
too.
on
Yes,
them
that's
too.
right. Actually, corals may experience segmental bleaching at times, and its causes can be vastly distinct. Usually, as the water temperatures rise, we often find coral bleaching occurring as a stress response. Another phenomenon is corals contracting diseases, and the parts that are ill may become bleached. What you saw earlier was a sign of coral bleaching. Its coral bleaching index has dropped to the intensity of 1 or 2. When coral bleaching takes place, the coral starves and may die of hunger if the situation sustains. It's an irreversible condition in many foreign places, as the corals die after being bleached. But luckily, in Hong Kong, when the water temperature drops after summer, the corals will be able to establish a cohabiting relationship with zooxanthella in the sea. In foreign countries, there are many mass coral bleachings and massive deaths, but here, if mass coral bleaching takes place, they have a better chance to recover. What causes coral bleaching? It's greenhouse gas emissions that lead to climate change and an increase in water temperature. Actually, Hong Kong is still fine, but we have to be mindful of it too.
So one thing I noticed is that when we were down there observing the corals, I noticed that when you saw any nets or debris or anything, you'd pick them up and take them with you back to the boat.
Right. Well, it's not just me. I think our diving friends in Hong Kong are all good like that. This is because, to them, they aren't satisfied with just diving anymore. They might take photos when they go diving, but it's not enough. They want to take actions to protect
Right.
the corals because they're beautiful. As you get to know more about the corals and their beauty, you feel compelled to try and protect them. That's why I'm so appreciative of our diving friends who take the initiative to clean up debris. It may seem like a small deal, but it has a great impact.
Apple, I've been wanting to ask you a question. Why do you like corals so much?
I've loved the ocean for such a long time. It stems from my childhood days. I was always fond of marine ecology and the sea creatures I'd get to see. But the real reason for my love and focus on corals? It dates back to my postgraduate days in the university. I tell other people sometimes that it appears that I chose corals as my topic, but in fact, it may be the corals' choice to have me work on it. When diving, a lot of folks might say that they saw so many pretty fish and other beautiful stuff, but only a few would find the corals themselves stunning and unique. Corals are really hard to grow, but are very easily damaged. Wherever there are people, the corals suffer. We have to reflect on whether our studies can substantially help the corals or not. Therefore, not only do we carry out research projects in the laboratories, but we also try to bring substantial positive impacts to marine life by means of ecological and coral restoration.
My worst deed in life is falling in love with the sea. It keeps my feet from the ground. In my casual days, I would stroll along the seaside in the embrace of the comforting waves and feel the salty sea breeze on my skin, staring at the magnificent ocean. I would imagine floating around freely, never going ashore.
Are you coming aboard? Hurry up!
Yeah, I'm coming. Just let me act cool for a while longer. This pineapple bun in my hand is a big hint of what we will be seeing later. Back to business. I went to Sai Kung Public Pier to take a 10-minute kaito ride to Sharp Island just to bring all of you to enjoy the artwork that's there. These artworks are some of the exhibits at the Sai Kung Hoi Arts Festival. That over there is the first artwork of Sharp Island. Now, I'm not quite sure what it's called. Let's take a look. This piece of art is called Ocean Says. Its mirrored surface reflects the sky, the ocean, and the buildings nearby. It's a special piece that merges different natural environments. It really grabs your attention. I believe it's eye-catching to the tourists. Next up, Moonrise in Daylight. This is another one of the art installations you can find on Sharp Island. What does the art installation represent? I'm curious.
Hello, I'm Yuk, a co-artist of this art installation.
Oh, hello, Yuk.
Hello.
Can you tell me what this art installation has to say?
Well, its basic structure is kind of based around a moon shape.
Right.
From different viewing angles, it reveals the changing shapes from the crescent moon to the full moon, with 12 spheres, surrounding the artwork like planets around the sun. When we were working on the piece, we really wanted to make it blend in with the natural environment. When you look at this piece from different angles, you physically get to see different natural landscapes, depending on where you stand.
Right.
For example, you can see the hillside or the seaside. Only when blended with these landscapes will the art installation become whole.
I can see that this piece is mainly made of rattan and metal. Is there a reason you chose these materials?
As nature is so beautiful, we really wanted our piece to reciprocate that beauty. So we chose to employ natural materials to construct its main outlook. Secondly, we studied quite a few of the traditional crafting techniques, and one of their key concepts is to give back to the earth which you have taken from. Say, if I use some materials from the earth for a particular art piece, up until the day the piece is destined to be torn down, is it able to naturally decompose or somehow recycled and given back to the earth? This idea gave us an extra thought as we created it.
Understood. Have any of the natural materials you used in the piece suffered any damage, or has any unwelcome weather conditions caused any accident?
When you're working on ecological artworks, things like this are always a challenge. For example, changing climate, heavy rainfall, or an unforgiving sun may cause the material to gradually and naturally change. I think that the whole process is similar to the changing seasons that we see as time flows on.
Right.
I hope everyone is able to observe its changing beauty at different times. It embodies an aesthetic of incompleteness.
There's a boat there. Was it pushed ashore?
Yeah, well, that's another art installation that was given to us
Right.
by Mother Nature one time after a typhoon.
Oh, do you feel like your piece is disturbed by these random things?
Well, actually, I think that things like this are totally fine, as they're a gift from nature, although some things are out of our control.
Yeah.
So, from another perspective, it also offers our piece with a more unique view. Put it this way, if you know how to enjoy yourself, everything becomes more beautiful.
The pineapple bun hint that I foreshadowed earlier is going to be revealed at last. Does this ceramic art piece look like a pineapple bun? In fact, it's part of the series called a Grand Pineapple Bun Tour. The series consists of 10 ceramic art pieces. Each of them was created with the unique landscapes of Sharp Island in mind. Sharp Island experienced volcanic eruptions 140 million years ago, followed by weathering and seawater erosion. That's how the spectacular pineapple bun stones were born.
Okay, let's have a look. All right. Is it any different from when you created it?
Did it rain heavily and cause the color to change a little?
You think its color has changed?
In fact, the series A Grand Pineapple Bun Tour was co-created by illustrator Mao Shan Connie and the young masters from St. James Creation.
Hello.
Hello everyone. Hello there.
I'm mainly responsible for drawing the characters, and then I came to Sharp Island with several geologists and the young masters earlier as they introduced me to the island's history. Then I picked some stories on the plants and the animals and stones that I found more unique, and I drew them and wrote about them. And then the young masters looked at my work and read my stories and used their talents to turn these thoughts into 3D artworks. I think that the whole process took us several months, right?
Several months.
And after they were done, they were not put into the kiln right away.
No, we had to put on some colors first.
Before putting on colors, they have to dry, right?
Right.
Then you can put them in the kiln.
That's right. We have to fire them all separately.
Really?
It's quite tiring.
I bet. Hey, this super volcano man has your name on it, Kalok. Did you make it?
Yes, I did.
Why does it have one eye open and the other one closed?
It looks cuter this way.
So what are the characteristics of Super Volcano Man?
Sometimes it has a temper, sometimes it's cute.
Right.
If you make it angry and chop things up or do something it doesn't like, it'll give you a pineapple bun.
It puffs out pineapple buns?
Yeah.
So it's good if I make it angry because I'd get a pineapple bun.
Yeah.
Their creative works often come with quite some unexpected surprises. The pieces are full of creativity and innocence, as the young masters reinterpret the whole thing in their own way.
The 10 pieces are spread across the mountain path from the harbor to Half Moon Bay. It takes more than 1 hour to complete the trail, and the mountain paths are steep. I wonder if we will get to see all the artworks today.
A big obstacle that we faced is that it seems that no one has ever placed artwork in one of our country parks before. That's why we were worried at the time that the artworks would be damaged if we put them there. We're grateful that they are still intact after a year.
That cloud is quite beautiful.
It's not a common one.
The mountain peak is only our halfway point. We enjoyed a lot of beautiful scenery along the way. But where has Kalok gone? It looks like the hike was too much for him, and one of the staff helped him back down, so there's no need to worry.
Goodbye.
Take your time.
Okay.
I have jogged all along this trail on Sharp Island before, but Sai Kung Hoi Arts Festival didn't exist at the time. So none of this art was here. This time, with this artwork to see, the footpath conveys a different meaning. Now you have a chance, or maybe a medium, to understand better the footpath's history and its underlying meaning. It's a bonus to the hiking experience. I think it's great to have this to see in Hong Kong. Today we felt so inspired after visiting the artwork on Sharp Island. It makes me wonder what else the Sai Kung Hoi Arts Festival has to offer. Therefore, I've invited Alan, the curator of the art festival, to learn more about them.
Let's stop at the exhibition board.
Okay.
This is the anywhere door. Let's walk across.
Okay.
Okay? Yay! And now you're in the exhibition area of Sai Kung Hoi Arts Festival. Our curtain theme is Join Us on the Isle Again, because we want everyone to come back again, so we're calling it Joy Again Isle. We want everyone to have fun jointly, which is why it's Joy Again. In our second year, we added the word isle in Chinese, which is a homonym for to
Right.
narrate. Through the artworks and the arts festival, we want to narrate the villagers' stories, as well as highlight the history of this environment.
The English theme is nice because Joy is just like my name, Joey.
Oh, okay.
Joey. A good
Joey.
name.
Yes, it is. Apart from Sharp Island, the artworks can also be found on Intinjai, Khao Sai Chau, and High Island. Yimtinjai's stories are usually related to the culture of Hakka villages, as well as its salt farming history and Catholicism. And the artworks there usually combine these stories together. Khao Sai village was once a fishing town that relied on fisheries. Therefore, its stories are linked to fishing nets and boats. And then there's High Island. On the boat, you'll pass the stunning natural landscapes of Sai Kung Hoi and see the amazing hexagonal rock columns. Some of the artwork looks to express the beauty of the hexagonal rock columns, while the others look to showcase local features such as clay. We even have an installation that's related to a school. It used to be Lungshun Bay Public School. We have a piece installed there to attract people to visit the place.
The ocean is a sophisticated place. Not only does it contain abundant life, but it has also inspired endless creative works. We should all cherish our ocean even more, as we let the ocean protect us and care for our future.